Have you ever woken up exactly at 2:47 in the morning, or perhaps at 3:12, with your heart slightly racing, looked at the clock and thought, is it just stress? In the United Kingdom, recent data from the British Heart Foundation reveals that more than 7.6 million people live with heart diseases, and many of them have ignored the early, silent signs that occur precisely during sleep.
And if that awakening which you ignore every night is actually your heart crying out for help before the worst happens. I am Dr. Andrew Collins, and today we are going to open the black box of your sleep.
Studies from the University of Oxford show that sleep fragmentation, the act of waking up and going back to sleep, is not just an annoyance. It is a biological trigger that can increase the risk of a serious cardiovascular event by up to 45% in people over the age of 50.
Welcome to the Silent Night Protocol. This is part 1 of an exclusive series of 3 videos. What you are about to see is not just a health tip, it is a protocol based on evidence collected by the UK Biobank,
one of the largest health databases in the world, which analyzed over 500,000 Britons to understand why our heart fails when we should be resting. NHS England reports that sleep disorders cost the British economy billions of pounds in productivity, but the human cost is incalculable. In the next 50 minutes, you will discover why your body wakes you up at the same time every day, what your liver has to do with your heart, and most importantly, how to interrupt this cycle before it drains your vital energy forever. Most people believe that waking up at night is a thing of age. They blame the bladder, work stress, or the pillow. But let me be clear. Your body is a perfect survival machine. According to the Whitehall 2 study, a 25-year study of British civil servants, short sleep duration at the age of 50 is directly linked to a 30% higher risk of multimorbidity. That is, having 2 or more chronic diseases at the same time. Let's analyze the case of Mr. James, a 54-year-old patient of mine from Manchester. He would run in Heaton Park, eat well, but every night, like an invisible alarm clock, he would open his eyes at 3:15 in the morning. He thought it was normal. What he didn't know was that this was the breaking point of his cardiovascular system. His body was not just waking up, it was trying to compensate for a dangerous drop in cardiac efficiency. What happens during the transition between sleep stages? Why between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m.? Biologically, this is the period of lowest metabolic activity. However, for those who have the Silent Night Protocol activated, a phenomenon called early awakening due to cortisol occurs. Cortisol is our fight or flight hormone. In the United Kingdom, elevated levels of chronic stress cause this hormone to rise hours before dawn. While Western medicine focuses on adrenaline, traditional Chinese medicine refers to this period as the liver time. The liver filters all your blood between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. If your blood is loaded with inflammatory markers, something very common in the modern Western diet, the liver needs more oxygen and energy. This forces your heart to work harder, increasing the heart rate and ultimately sending a signal to the brain to wake you up. It is your body trying to clear the system in a biological emergency. I want to take a break now. Look at me. Do you relate to this? In the United Kingdom, it is estimated that 1 in 3 adults suffer from insomnia or frequent awakenings. How often have you been waking up in the early hours this past week? Write in the comments the exact time you usually see on the clock. I read every comment. Whether you are in London, Birmingham, or anywhere in the world, understanding your time will help me tailor the practical solutions I will provide in video 3 of this series. Don't keep this to yourself. Your comment could be the sign that someone else needs to realize they are not alone. Here is the part that should concern you, and which the British Heart Foundation constantly emphasizes. Every time you wake up suddenly, your blood pressure rises instantly, in a peak called early morning surge. If this happens every night, you are subjecting your arteries to constant mechanical wear. It's like you are hammering a glass wall every night. Furthermore, many of these awakenings are linked to microapneas, moments when you stop breathing for seconds. This causes a drop in oxygen in the blood, known as hypoxia. In the United Kingdom, thousands of people over the age of 50 have undiagnosed sleep apnea. The result? Your heart is forced to beat hard against constricted arteries. Mr. James only realized the seriousness when he began to feel mild palpitations during the day, a sign that the heart muscle was starting to become fatigued due to these night battles. In this first part of the Silent Night Protocol, we established that waking up between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. is not a sign of aging, but a warning sign for cardiovascular health. Using data from the UK Biobank and the NHS, we found that sleep fragmentation is a direct predictor of future heart problems. You learned about the early peak of cortisol, liver overload, and the danger of blood pressure surges. But understanding the signal is just the first step towards regaining your health. But now, the question arises that will change your perception of rest. If you can go back to sleep after 15 minutes, why do you still wake up feeling like a truck has run over you? Why does your mind seem foggy and your energy disappear at 3 p.m.? In the next video, video 2, I will reveal the invisible drain.
You will discover why the sleep you have after this awakening is in fact a toxic sleep that is aging your cells and your heart twice as fast as normal. What happens in the 60 minutes after you close your eyes again is what determines whether you will have a day of vitality or exhaustion.
Don't miss the next episode. Subscribe now and activate the bell, because what I'm going to show you in video 2 is the secret that the pharmaceutical industry doesn't want you to know about true recovery. I'll see you there.